the review is set up this way and the test is set up exactly the same way. So there are 9 questions. Not all of those are the test questions. So when you start the assignment, the very first question is just asking you saying like, I agree to show my work and submit my photos, or saying I will not submit photos of my work. Basically, I'm giving you points for saying, yes, I agree to show my work and submit photos. And this way, when you do submit your test, if you don't put photos on there, I can be like, hey, you were supposed to show your work and submit photos. It's pretty impossible for you to say, I didn't know that, because this question is saying you're going to have to include photos of your work. If you don't include photos, you will lose points. You understand that, you agree. So there's nothing else you have to do on this question except just read it and realize I have to show my work. I have to submit photos of my work. Then click Next. It's going to say you've reached the end of this section. You have not answered one question, which is weird because we have answered this question. But once you go on to the next question, you can't come back to this question 1. So actually, if you click here, right now, the only question you can be on is this first question. You can't move on to the test until you're done with this. So I'm done with this. Yes, go to the next question. Numbers 2 through 8 are the actual test questions. If I try to click Review End Test, I can't go back into question number 1. I can't go on to question number 9. I can only see questions 2 through 8. That's the actual test questions. So you want to start with question 2, do every single question on here, make sure you're showing your work on every single problem. Once you are sure that you are done with questions 1 through 8, so you should have a check mark in all of these because you've done questions 2 through 8. Do not go to the last question until you are completely done with questions 2 through 8. Okay, so I'm going to go back to question 8 and say, yes, I'm done. I've done all of questions 2 through 8. I've got an answer in there for all of them. It's going to give you this warning box again. You cannot go back to your test questions once you move on to the last question. So do not move on to the next question until you are sure that you have answered numbers 2 through 8 in that middle section of the test. This last question gives you the opportunity to attach photos of your work. You also need to answer these questions. So after attaching photos of your work, select answers to the prompts below. I think I got A. You can say whatever grade you think it is you got. Hopefully it's not that one. And then I did or I did not use Photomath. Side note, you should not be using Photomath. This is a test. You don't use Photomath on a test. You do the work yourself. So you should hopefully be saying, I did not use Photomath. In the top left corner, you will click on the paperclip. That will activate your camera, and it's about to show me, hi, that's me. So here's where you would show your work. So here's my test review. I would hold this up to the camera and try to make it as clear as possible. And take a picture. Notice I got 2 good picture, like I got 2 problems clearly in there attached to question. Then you can say back to webcam. So click back to webcam. I got the first 2 already, so now I need to get the next 2. So try to hold it up, get as clear of a picture as possible. Say take picture. Attach that to your question. I now have 2 attachments up here. I want to go back to my webcam, do the next 2 problems as clear as possible. Whew. Hopefully you guys can figure this out better. I don't know if there's a way to switch the camera. Actually, I think I can get all of it right there. There we go. Attached to question. There's 3 pictures attached. Once you're done, there's no done button, but you click this little X, and that takes you out of the camera. Now you can see in the top left corner up by this question 9 that there are 3 pictures that you attached. Then you can be done and submit your test. All right, now obviously I didn't answer any questions, so I did not get very many points, but just by answering that first question and that last question, you got points on the test. Basically, even if you miss every single question, the lowest grade you can get is a 50%. So make sure you're showing your work and attach pictures of your work. Do not move from that middle section of the test until you are done with questions 2 through 8.